computer room?
And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 180. So I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, you know, we got some topics to cover for you guys today. We're going to be revisiting Captain America Brave New World's box office because we didn't really tackle it in week 3 because nothing really actually changed because, well, that's the joke right there. The movie never actually really got more money past what it had originally got, you know. And then we're going to be talking about Harry Potter. You know, Harry Potter has always generally been for losers, nerds, non-giga chads, nasally talking weirdos, right? But I remember we had it as a topic on the show like about a few weeks ago because it still deals with race swapping and everything. So we did talk about it. And keep in mind, even though I've never really actually been into Harry Potter that much, because it's kind of like for fucking nerds and losers like Star Wars always was, I did end up watching the very first movie fucking hell for like the first 20 minutes and it just kind of bored me. So, you know, that's as far as I got, you know, with ever getting to those movies. But, you know, eventually maybe I might ever watch them, you know, and read books. No, reading books doesn't happen. But I will eventually watch the movies at some point in my film career that I have actually as a content creator. My content creator career has such a resume at this point. I'm literally like Batman in the Omni chair, just gathering information like that at this point. But speaking of me being basically omnipotent at this point, kind of like Sasuke Aizen in Bleach, you know, where I've just mastered everything and my intelligence level is beyond normal human capabilities. Channel is growing, you know, I could already apply for monetization already. I just haven't got a chance to do it yet because, well, I kind of forgot, honestly, and we do so many fucking streams and videos a week. Your boy is just beyond busy to notice little details anymore. But do you want to say thank you guys for constantly watching the channel and all the podcasts and all the game streams and all the clipped videos that I put out on the channel. The comic book channel hit 500 hours of watch time, and I've only been doing that channel for like maybe less than a year at this point. So, you know, your boy knows how to really get people to watch his stuff. Being a genius up here really helps. You know, hey, I'm like Shikamaru from Naruto, 200 IQ up here. You know, I'm always thinking 3 moves ahead, you know? So we'll do intros really quickly, and we'll get to the topics because, you know, some of you guys are on the East Coast here, and you guys kind of want to go to sleep in a little bit instead of talking to the big top G like myself, obviously. But yeah, everything else has been pretty much good. For as you guys know, the rest of the week, we have comic book reviews coming up. Tomorrow, we're going to do Absolute Batman number 4 with That's Comic Fan, then a topic, Cloud9 podcast, because there's First Stand. That's this week. So that means when there's a League of Legends international event, that means more episodes of that show. That way we can cover like all the League of Legends being competitively played currently right now. And then on Wednesday, we have Bloodworth number 1, comic book review with Professor Savage Dad, panel show with Gray and Lunchbox Warren. Thursday, Cloud9 podcast again. And then we have Lunchbox Warren here again. And then on Friday, it's, well, Labs Comic Fan and Warren will be on there for that show. Labs Comic is coming back for Friday. And next Wednesday, it's a big announcement. Next Wednesday, I'm going to try a little thing with the Comic Book Bros. If anyone also is in a comic books, let me know. Wednesday, 6 p.m. PST, we're going to do a comic book related MSK show like normal, but it's going to be with people that I've reviewed comic books with. And we're going to be giving our comic book hot takes, the hottest comic book takes you can possibly get, one each, because if we did all of them, we'd be here for like 8 hours debating. I have mine. Everyone has to come with one. You have to come with one. And I got mine. And mine's already well thought out, genius level at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll start with Iron. He'll be back joining us on Mondays, unless he's literally not dead, actually, you know, coughing up a lung, yeah, or his dog's
maybe I'll be kind of on a reoccurring Monday. It is a heavy work day for me, but when I have a light day like today, I'd be happy to join as often as I can.
So I'm like half.
Let's see, where do we go after listening to you verbally masturbate for that long and jerk yourself off there? That was. Where do we go from here? You can check out the weekly Rogues Gallery at 5:35 p.m. PST over on my channel. We did just hit monetization as well, so thank you, everybody.
Oh yeah, today you hit monetization and you hit 500 subscribers.
See, well, I hit 500 subscribers over the weekend, and then I applied, And I'd heard some horror stories with that. Like, yeah, if it starts taking over a week, you're probably not going to get it. They're going to review your channel and blah blah blah. But it literally like 6 a.m. on my first break at work, I was like, oh, I'll check in on that, and there it was. So
that's why I should wait, because there was, how I was continuously messing up on the shows to do the intro. One time when I did a show with Anna, I said the F word and the N word, and it gave me a copyright strike.
No, not you.
But it actually ends at the end of April, about a week after the meetup's over. So I'm thinking probably should just wait till that strike is over before I actually apply. That's like a safe route, a bit of a safe route, probably. So it's okay, guys. I don't do this for money. I'm already a pretty well-off guy, as you can see. I got a Lamborghini outside. Iron's been to my house. He knows I have a Lamborghini outside. The grass is good. There's a hose outside. There's a picket fence. There's a dog.
Confirmed. All of that. And whatever else he says, sure.
Also, this man's trolling us. He's going to be doing a weekly Rose Gallery show finally coming up.
Right. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot all about that. It starts this Wednesday, and then we're going to be having 2 shows a week. Wednesdays at 5:35 p.m. PST, followed by Friday. Same show, just rebranded as the Weekend Rogues Gallery.
I think that's good because randomly, if you miss a Friday, then you at least would have had that episode out there that week. Instead of having nothing.
Right, and just trying to put out a little bit more. Since I've been doing this, not quite a year, maybe right at about a year ish. I've only been doing the 1 show a week, so I'm trying to kind of put out a little bit more. It
itches you to do more. When you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah. I'm still probably never going to do recorded video content. It's just not really my jam. I like live streams. That's I'm more comfortable in conversation than trying to just sit there and talk to the camera by myself and talk about something. And
I've been dating my camera for like years. You got to just tell everything you feel to the camera at this point.
Right. Well, you're comfortable being alone. And that's cool.
He came back and he's already taking shots. It's great. All right. Bob, how you doing, man? You feeling better?
After listening to your intro about, having a 200 IQ, I realized, a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's, you're good.
Oh, man.
But no, overall doing good. Glad to be back. Actually had some vacation time last week, so it kind of sucked getting back to work this week. But
oh god,
but I'm used to working 7 days a week, so it's not really that big of a deal. But
7 days a week?
Yeah, I work 7 days a week because I have a full-time Monday through Friday job, and then I work as a nursing supervisor on the weekends at another nursing home. So
there's no way you're not ever burnt out. No way. That's crazy.
It gets to me after a while. I'd say after about 3 months of not having a day off, it starts to get to me. So it's the good thing is with my weekday job, I get 4 weeks a year of PTO. So I try to kind of space it out throughout the year.
That makes sense.
And, yeah. So it's not too bad. But it was nice on Saturday. Since we lost that hour going into Sunday. Yeah. It was nice. My schedule changed like last minute, and instead of having to work my normal hours on Sunday morning, it got moved to having to work the afternoon shift, so I was able to sleep in. So that was nice.
Also, this is another thing that a lot of people don't get when you're doing this, as well as having a job. Is like when people say, "Oh my God, I can't do this because I have a job and I'm so busy." It's like all of us have jobs and we do this. You just kind of just make time for it in your already busy life schedule as it is. You work 7 days a week and you still find time to put out videos.
Yeah. And got my main channel monetized in less than a year. So
yeah,
I mean,
very nice.
And over the 1K subs. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about starting no, you do the dad podcast.
I did the other podcast that the podcast that I do is we film Wednesday nights. We haven't gone live yet, and that's the goal this year to go live. But we record Wednesday nights and usually post it on Thursdays. But that's over at Dad's Turn to Talk. And so
when do I join?
A couple of weeks ago, we actually got to interview the director from the new Plankton movie, the spinoff from SpongeBob.
That's cool.
So that was pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man! I've never interviewed a Hollywood person ever on the show.
We also got to several months ago. We interviewed Ben Rock, who was the production designer on the Blair Witch Project, and so that was kind of
awesome.
fun. And then, yes, about like something like episode 14 or 15 when we started. We got to interview Omid Abtahi, who was Dr. Pershing on The Mandalorian. And so that was fun also.
Because I ever get a chance to ask you this,
Really cool.
are you ever going to do another channel on another one of your interests? Or are you just doing the movie one and the dad?
Well, with Dad's Turn to Talk, we kind of talk about a hodgepodge of things, whether it be sports, movies, television, just kind of whatever floats our boat. Because that's the basic concept of the channel, is that you're dealing with kids and work and spouses all day, and so it's our turn to talk about the things that we want to talk about. So it's kind of just like a mixture of stuff. But on the main channel, as of right now, it's just movies and television and the occasional trailer reaction.
Okay. Gray, who's secretly Eric Kathleen Kennedy, you know? What did you do this past weekend besides, you said, getting butt graped by the IRS?
Not the IRS. It's just every, loan officer, loan shark, anyone who's willing to give me the $20K I need for my goddamn HVAC system. But everything is squared away now. So, yeah, next week I will be sitting pretty on a pile of debt. But good times, Hey, I'm not monetized, so congratulations, Bob. Congratulations, Iron. That's awesome. Could you imagine doing YouTube for more than a year and not being monetized? Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I literally did it on another channel that has gotten basically Crisis on Infinite Earth, actually, from the anti-monitor of YouTube. Crazy. Now, I was on YouTube when you could just have videos that are monetized out the gate. I just never knew how to do it, and I just didn't care. That's how you knew I was in it, for just doing it for videos. I didn't keep in mind, whenever you get paid from YouTube, because Bob, if you get paid, it's really nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
When you get paid, it's like you get like about $150, $120 a month. It's not anything. You probably can pay a bill off with it, and that technically actually can save you money in the long term, but it's not anything like super life changing when you finally get it. People go like, "Oh my god, I'm going to get $1,000 every month," because YouTube only pays them once a month.
Well, I mean,
that's YouTube system.
To be fair, how would you know, MSK? I'm just saying.
I have receipts from my older channel. I have the receipts, but due to YouTube's anti-monitor system, when they erased me and I had to get reborn, speaking of born again, I was like, well, there's a reference right there, but it's okay. It's okay. At Iron's position now, because they changed it, because before it was like, 4,000 hours of watch time, 1,000 subs. Then they made it even easier. It was 500 subscribers, 3,000 hours of watch time.
Don't take this away from him, man. He has earned this accomplishment.
I wish I had that
Congrats.
back in the day, man. No, YouTube's making things way easier.
Back in the day?
They put me
What
through
about
the
now?
fire. They put me through the fire back then. Because the only thing that's different now is like at the 500 range that you're at, you can get super chats and the super thanks in your comment section. You don't get the ad paycheck, which is when you get
Which is awesome.
Yeah,
It seems a little bit more official at that point.
I need another 500. I need to get to the 1K before I hit that second tier thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now, this is more just kind of bragging rights. So I can kind of, it's just to be able to say the channel's actually something, not just, complete.
It's no
BS.
small feat, man. I mean, could you imagine if you'd done like 180 episodes or something like that?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, yeah. Hey, no, you guys, the goal here is getting
I-
back to 600. That's my goal. But the early goal, given how we basically do shows every day, every week, which is fine. A lot of people go like, do you not like that? No. There's people that can only put in like 1 or 2 episodes in their podcast a week. I can put one in every single day pretty much on both of mine. No, I'm happy that I can do it. I guess early projections for the show, if we hit 300 episodes earliest, which should happen by like May or June, I'm just going to see where the sky goes. If we can hit like 500 by the end of the year, that's great. Then by 2026, we're already going to be back at 600, and we just keep going from there. I mean, we'll eventually be at 1,000 anyway, but no rush to get there. It's okay. I've tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. I'm good. This show's been perfect in every single way possible. No problems at all. No issues with anyone.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I'll give you props for that, because I'm one of those that can do maybe 1 or 2 videos a week, and then and that's on my main channel, and then on Dad's Turn to Talk, that's 1 video a week. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I just got lucky on my main channel because I had a couple of videos just really go off.
Those popped up really hard. Yeah,
and that's what did it for me. But
do you remember your highest viewed video? You remember it?
Mine's over 40,000 views.
I never had that. Even when I did it on Yu-Gi-Oh, my highest video ever was only like 12,500 views.
I got lucky. I reviewed that that film Horizon, that Western that Kevin Costner did, and for whatever reason, it just took off. And then I also
You did Am I a Racist? That hit
yeah, I also did Am I a
31,000.
Racist, and that one got over 31,000. And then I do a lot of I'm not afraid to touch the faith-based stuff because one of my first reviews was I did a review of that TV show The Chosen, and I got a lot of good response on that. Like I had one of those videos get over 15,000 views. So because of that, I want to honor that audience because they gave me a lot of subs, and so I want to go back and review that stuff. And you know,
oh my god,
yeah, as a thank you to them, always review that because they were there for me at the start.
Did you check your comment section for the Am I a Racist review?
Oh yeah, that were
314 comments. Holy fucking shit, dude. I've highest I ever got comments were like fucking maybe 50, 40 max, maybe. That's 300 comments. You want to read 300 comments? I'm the crazy guy that will. I'll read all of them.
You know what?
I'm gonna read the
I think what happened was I reviewed it like right when the movie came out, and the big YouTubers, none of them were touching it until like 2 or 3 days later.
Only Jeremy Johns.
When Jeremy Johns touched it, then everybody thought, oh, okay, well, it's okay that I reviewed this. But I put my review out literally like 2 or 3 days before he did, and mine just went off. And for me, I mean, that was awesome. I was like, oh my God, I mean, I'll take it. Because I never expected anything like that. So I got all my watch hours like on 2 or 3 videos.
God, man. What is 300 comments? There's no way you could just skip through all these. Oh my goodness. Like, that's the other thing with doing movie review content is people have this notion that if you just say how you feel, you're coming off unbiased. And it's like, I don't know how to tell people this. Everyone is biased to something. No one is ever unbiased. When someone says like, I'm unbiased, it's not true. That is just literally factually untrue. I don't know how to, you can't convince people of it. They're always going to think no matter what. It's a constant repeating thing. They're like, no, this person I like is not biased because he said something that I agreed with. Doesn't that make you inherently like fucking hell, man?
You know, I tried to keep the bias out of the review, and it was hilarious because some of the comments you got lefties thinking I'm a conservative, and you got conservatives thinking I'm a lefty, and so I'm like, okay, well, I must have done something well because neither side can figure out which side I was. So
when you piss off the extreme ends of both stick, then you're probably doing something right when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I mean, I got a lot of comments on that, and then the Horizon.
Oh my god, no, you had a stupid one.
I remember Kevin Costner fans.
No, you had a stupid one. I don't know if you saw it because you didn't respond to it, but it was a comment that went like this: well, everybody has their opinion. It's like, okay, you have yours, and the rest of us have ours. And I'm like,
oh, I remember that comment. Yeah, I didn't want to respond to it because.
And then someone replied, "Brilliant observation, pure genius."
Yeah, I tend not to respond to the stupid ones. I mean, if somebody gives me like a thought out comment, even if they disagree with me, you know, I'll respond to that because
it's still engagement.
I can respect that because we're all going to have different opinions when it comes to movies and stuff like that. So I'm cool with debating and having good conversation. But when somebody does something stupid, I'm like, just even this week on that Mickey 17 movie that came out, most of the comments, people seem to not like it, which I hated the movie. But somebody left a comment saying, well, at least it was an original idea. You people just can't be satisfied with anything. And I'm like, just because it's an original idea doesn't
like it.
It's good.
Yeah. That's what I told people. It's like you can create a remake, a sequel, an interbequel, whatever the fuck they're called now. Original idea, it doesn't matter. Keep in mind, let's be honest here, that's probably not original. Someone else probably already did it before. At this point in 2025, that being originals, come on, there's no way, not possible. But if we're going off of recency bias, right? Even if someone makes something original, doesn't mean I have to give two shits about it, or I have to lie and tell you, no, it's great because it's original and it's the best thing ever since sliced bread. It's like, no, what the fuck?
Yeah, the movie was trash. At least I thought it was. That's
some interesting concepts. I didn't like it.
It had some interesting concepts, and I thought Pattinson gave a good performance. But beyond that, there wasn't really a whole lot that I liked about it. Oh, and I thought the set designs and stuff looked good. But yeah, I thought the movie
that is almost exactly what I've heard from nearly everyone that's that I've heard talk about it.
I mean, it was trash. And And then Mark Ruffalo, I heard a lot of people saying that his performance, they're like, well, he's clearly invoking Trump. And I'm sure that's what he was trying to do. That's not what I got from it. For me, he came off more like a bad televangelist. And that was the impression that I got from him. Like just real over the top and extreme. Yeah, I just thought it was bad. And then the character of his wife was just as bad. She was like Cruella de Vil.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she came off like a cartoon character. So
man, it's too bad because I like those out there sci-fis like that, like Fifth Element and things that are just kind of outside the box with that. The concept sounded good. It was fairly original, and the trailer did look good. So I was like, I might check that out. If I'm going to spend the money to take me and my wife to go to a movie, and normally, if we're going to do that, it's going to be like, we'll have dinner, go to the movie. We're talking like a $150, $200 date night, just doing that, just the two of us.
Wow.
So I'm going to want to make sure that I hear a little something about the movie first before I take that kind of time to go check it out.
Smart choice.
I'm a lot more choosy on my movies. I mean, the last thing I saw in theater was Wolverine and Deadpool.
Last thing I saw was
that just sucks too.
Brave New World.
Because Bong Joon-ho has had some amazing films. I don't know. This one was plagued with a couple different reshoots, and I think it was originally scheduled for like November of last year. So
yeah,
that didn't bode well that they were pushing it back, and then they only gave it a March release. So I don't know. I've been kind of iffy. I want to see it. I will definitely see it at some point, but I'm not hearing good news.
No, yeah, like I said, the concept was interesting, and so the trailer did make it look good. I thought, okay, this is going to be a fun movie. And then by the time you got to the last act, I was just so bored that I was like, oh my God, like it had a 2-hour, 17-minute runtime, but it felt like 3 hours. I was just like, wow, this one's rough.
Like, I remember I saw a trailer for it or two when I went to Brave New World and a movie before that. I think Sonic 3, I saw the first trailer the first time, and I was like, this seemed like a pretty cool concept. It seemed like it, but I don't know. Something just felt off about it. It felt like Robert Pattinson was just kind of phoning it in. I don't know. He just doesn't.
No, he was good.
Purdy was excellent in it.
Okay.
He was good. It was everybody else that was pretty bad for that, but he himself was good, and he actually kind of plays two different characters because I mean you see it in the trailer that at one point there's two of them. And they're very different, and so he's playing two different characters. And I thought he was good. I had no issues with him.
Yeah, and more often now, it's just so much easier because the movies come to the streaming so fast, especially if they're not good. But I really do miss. It wasn't that long ago, maybe just a little over a decade, where we don't even know what's playing. Hey, we're gonna go have dinner and go see a movie. What are we going to see? It's going to depend on when we get there. We'll pick something off the list that's within the time of us getting there, sit down, and there's a 90% chance that it was at least good enough to be something to talk about later and not just feel like, what a fucking waste of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
You know,
I was the same way.
There was a comment that I got from someone when I commented on one of Aaron Sparrow's posts, and the person was like, why is it important that fans discuss like financials of how well movies do? Well, there's several reasons why. Actually, if you just use one of the base reasons, why does anything need discussing at all? I find it weird that people always bring it up. Why does this need discussing at all? Well, in that case, if I just turn that around on you, nothing needs to be discussed at all by that stupid logic. We could just discuss nothing and be robots in life and just kind of just do nothing and not talk to each other and then just be bots, right? But no, obviously, right? So the reason why it's important, and I'll just only play it this way. Let's use Captain America Brave New World, for example. Let's just say you liked Brave New World. Let's just say you thought it was a good movie, okay? So now, since the movie, technically, when we go over it, didn't do so well at the box office and pretty much flopped on its face, you will not be getting any more of these movies. That's the reason why the financials are important. Let's just say you like that movie. You're not going to get any more of it. So it's imperative if you like the MCU, you want these movies to do well because you want to get more of them. The reason why you got more sequels.
when you
Because
say
the
you're not
reason
going to get any more, like they've already announced what the schedule is going to be. They didn't exactly
he's
change
not
what
on there.
Avengers are.
He's not gonna get another.
He's a member
Captain
of the
America movie.
Avengers. He is Cap in America.
He's certainly Captain EBT. No, I'm just saying that's why you got sequels to those other movies before. It's because they did well enough, I guess, for the studio to justify getting a sequel.
Okay, so what you're not speaking for the MCU in its entirety, just these specific characters. Like if you liked the Captain Falcon movie, you know, be grateful you got it because it failed, and they're probably not going to do a sequel exclusively for that character or that version of Captain America. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that even if you like the movie, it performs so well financially bad that they're not going to do any more solo movies for that Captain America. It doesn't make
that's literally what I just said.
I know I was fucking with you.
No, he just wasn't paying attention.
I had him. No, I don't get it with people. It's like the financials are definitely important, though. You know who it matters to? Well, studios, obviously, and they only care about making money. Like, I would go like, hey, I want my best movies to make good money, but then again, you could use the argument, well, just because it made a lot of money doesn't mean it's good. Well, yeah, but that doesn't disclose the fact that they're not going to do anything more with it. Like, we're not going to get any more Captain Marvel movies because of that last one failing as hard as it did. There's no way. They'll never, if they did, that would just be a complete shocker to me, honestly. You're not getting another Eternals. What happened to that Shang-Chi 2 announcement? You know? You're
okay, man. So they're still doing Shang-Chi too, but to White Knight for Marvel, just a little bit.
Where's Shang-Chi 2? That director ain't doing it.
Let me explain. So they have already said what their next 6 movies are going to be. None of them were ever supposed to be sequels to these, except for Shang-Chi 2, which is still full go. Yeah, we're still going to get that one. You're right. Eternals will never get another one, but they never had a Falcon follow-up. They never had Falcon Winter Soldier season 2. Instead, it's branching off into Thunderbolts and this, which then should set up the next Avengers thing. I'm assuming Sam's still going to be a part of all of these Avengers movies. So I don't know, man. I hear what you're saying. I just don't think it's apt or accurate.
I'm just pointing out, just in general movie going fashion, if you like some of the movies that you get, even if you like that new Robert Pattinson movie, if that movie fails, they're not doing a sequel to that or another one, you know?
It's gonna fail because apparently it's not good.
Yeah. Walter said, MSK, are you saying this in general or only specific to the MCU? No, just in general, because we know how much money movies make now, and it's not that much. A lot of them don't even really break even, which is a loss in and of itself at this point now. So that movie better be drawing in some cash, because if it doesn't draw in any cash, your shit's going straight to streaming. Look at what they did for Predator. I mean, after that fucking Shane Black one, they sent that shit to Hulu.
What are you talking about, man? They are doing, now I forget what the hell it's called. It's Predator. Oh, God damn it. I have it written down somewhere. Predator Badlands this year. So it's kind of the sequel to the native one.
Is it coming out in theaters or is it coming on Hulu again?
It's a little unclear. I believe this one is actually going to theaters since the last one did good on Hulu.
Imagine they put this shit out in the theaters again
to kind of give Predator a little bit of a pass. That was still on the tail end of the whole COVID thing, and they were still using that as an excuse. Were they just using it as an excuse? Maybe, but that was still kind of one of the issues. But you did say something that I want to call bullshit on, that the studios care about money. Right now, and for a long time, they haven't. Right now, they're caring way more about the message and they want to teach people before they entertain them, and they've been doing that for a long time. Get their virtue signal points in. They still subscribe to the no press is even bad press is good press. Only all that bull. They still think that if they can just do it right, that they'll get that, that unicorn, non-existent modern audience. So yeah, they might not do a sequel to Captain Falcon, but they're going to just do something else just as dumb. Like they're going to do Young Avengers with their little, Zoomer millennial cast. Oh,
what do you mean,
not a maybe.
They've been headed towards it for like a decade now.
No, we've gotten rumors at least. We've got the rumors.
What are you talking about? Okay, so Hawkeye, now a new young chick. Ant-Man, now a new young chick. We've got Wiccan, who just was released in Agatha. He's gonna go find Tommy. He's gonna find Tommy.
We've only gotten rumors there's gonna be a Young Avengers. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna stick them all in Avengers.
You seen the concept art for Doomsday? Yeah, that's gonna be a setup.
No, man, it's gonna be Secret Wars.
Oh no.
Well, it depends. Doomsday could lead into that. You're right.
Christ, yeah.
I'm really hoping they don't, because there have always been those rumors that Kevin Feige is starting to say, wait a minute, I care too much about this stuff. I don't want people to remember me as the guy who ruined Marvel the way Kathleen Kennedy's the woman who ruined Star Wars.
Let's not go down that road again.
I mean, there are certain ones they're throwing by the wayside, like what's Young Hulk even called? I forget. Like they showed him once in She-Hulk and never again. There's certain ones
he's in the concept art for Doomsday.
Yeah,
but he actually looks comic book accurate there. He doesn't have a man bun.
And that's sort of implied now these days. But no, I'm saying like all those Young Avengers that they were building up in some of these movies, like Wanda's kid.
Dude, they still are. That's the latest one. All the TV shows led to it, man.
No, but people thought they were going to be
about Miss Marvel. You're forgetting about Miss Marvel.
What? All we've had is rumors. It's rumored they're going to appear in their own movie. They ain't getting their own movie. What's going to happen is what Iron said. They're going to be plucked in Doomsday, and they're going to wait to see the reception of it. And then, here's a sequel. Here's a MCU Plus show, or here's a fucking movie for them.
Okay. You know what? I think I might agree with him there. I think they might, with the way things have kind of been shifting, and how they already know it's the whole Emperor has new clothes. People are like, yeah, show us your financials, show us this. We know you're losing money. Your shareholders are constantly pissed. You have literal money printing machines that you're not utilizing by just giving people what they actually want. But
they can't give them what they want. Like there's the whole Downey Jr. and Chris Evans thing. They're coming back, but it's because there's going to be Dark Avengers and that thing. Wait. So the next show is Vision Quest. That is literally going to be Vision recruiting the Young Avengers, and it's going to be the quest for Tommy.
If he doesn't do that, I'm going to remember this episode, and I'm going to come back here and
mark this date, episode 180 of the unmonetized MSK
You know what happened?
A, B, or C?
Hold on, before you go. Do you know that Warren Mephisto incident from back in the day? Warren, the black guy who we used to stream with, I don't have any problems with him. He's a cool guy. Honestly thought Mephisto was going to appear in WandaVision. When we were doing watch parties back in the day, he would spend hours in the episode talking about Mephisto getting come. Mephisto never came. Just pointing it out.
Until you find out the writer, she didn't even know who Mephisto was.
Yeah, but all the fans thought he was going to be there, right? Until the writer went, I don't know who the fuck that is. Well, that doesn't.
So the shitty thing is he is out there. They already have the Funko Pop of him. He's in Ironheart, which doesn't make any sense. Just like they brought out, like they brought out Lady Death or Death for Agatha. It's like, why though? You did the Infinity.
But remember, it was because. The reason why I personally believe they started putting out these big reveals in the shows is because of the Mephisto thing. All the fans thought Mephisto was going to be there. And then remember, after that, we started getting the big villain reveals in the shows like Kang. We got Lady Death. We had a lot of them start coming in the show. Mephisto, he's going to be in, apparently he's going to be in Ironheart, allegedly, right? If people don't remember, that Mephisto fucking WandaVision appearance was crazy back then. People were theorizing and all this bullshit. All their theories went out the window when they realized the show was just not good.
To be fair, Ironheart was supposed to be released like 3 years ago or something like that. They've been sitting on it forever. So he was supposed to be released.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna pull a Batgirl on that.
Echo. Ooh. I was thinking Echo, where they're just going to cut it down to like 5 episodes and release it one weekend. Like
that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to release it all in once because they actually had that the beginning of the year. They had that promo video for all the shows that were coming out for Disney Plus, and they had clips of it in that. I think at this point, I think they're just going to drop it the same way they did Echo, kind of the same way they did Agatha. Well, Agatha, I mean, was a little different, but some of these I think they're just putting out because they feel like, well, it's just better if we get it out there and maybe we'll get something back on it.
Oh God. It's just so crazy how they expect people to like watch the shows and the movies in tandem. And it's not a bad idea. It was never a bad idea as they conceptualized it. It was just the fact that the actual quality of shit they were putting out dipped so hard that not only did you watch all those shows, all the movies came out with them. And you're like, it just never felt good anymore. You know, when you watch a bad show, you're like, fuck, now I got a bad movie to come with it too, you know?
So I don't want to white knight them on this. I think you're right.
Oh,
And I
God,
think when we
a
talk
white
about
knight.
the DC, yeah, that's what I am. So
Prison Daredevil.
the whole thing that we were talking about with the DC releases,
Yeah.
like it sounds like a shitload, like 7 per year, but they're not expecting the exact same audience to watch everything. And that's one problem that the MCU is doing. They're expecting everyone to watch everything, and everything is supposed to be for every audience. And that's just not going to work. So I don't know, man. It sounds like they're paring back, which might be good.
But I will give you
what that's
credence there. Keep in mind, back then when they did start that whole TV movie strategy, that was during a little bit of the lockdown period. So people, all they really had to do was watch stuff, and I think that also kind of sucked too, was that you felt like you had nothing else to do. This is the only new content dropping. And it's like, well, I mean, I guess we'll watch it, Oh, God. Remember the whole HBO Max day and date release? Remember that one? Oh, God. Whew. You could just watch big blockbuster movies same day as release on theaters and on HBO Max, and then they took off the HBO branding, just calling it Max. Yeah, good job, Warner Brothers. They also took down the Cartoon Network website. They also launched a CNN streaming service, and it got canceled on day one. I'm not shitting you; it's actually a real thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember when that happened.
Yeah,
everyone's actually I just canceled my HBO Max or whatever the shit it is.
That's why I canceled them too. I don't watch streaming services enough to have one.
It's like I'm only keeping a handful that I'm watching. Like I'm actually have things that I need to watch, and then I might cancel them. I need to keep Netflix for right now for Cobra Kai, and then we'll see. I might hold on to it until just after Stranger Things, but. No, and there's just so many of them. It's so much more expensive than cable ever was. It's like if these were all just channels with the shit to watch on them, it would be a lot easier.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They say cut the cord because it's more economical and stuff. No, it's not.
It's not. It's
because
way
I'm
more
adding up
expensive.
my subscriptions. Because I like to get the ones that are ad free. I don't want to fool with the ads. And I was adding it all up. I was like, good Lord, this is just as expensive as if I got cable.
The
good thing is that if there are shows that I watch on cable, the good thing is a lot of them will end up on one of these streaming services, like a day or two later, they'll put the episode out there so I can still watch it. So that's good enough. My issue is I've got like 1 or 2 shows that I watch on almost every single one of them. And so because of that, it's like, I don't want to cancel any of them because there's still a handful of shows on each one that I do watch. Well, and then some shows I'm actually going back and doing a watch of for the very first time. Like I've been watching through Dexter. And
great show.
That before. Yeah, well, I'd never seen it before. I finally finished the first or I finished all 8 seasons. I watched New Blood.
I was going to say you should stop before the end.
Well, I was going to say the John Lithgow series season's the best. The one after is pretty good, and then it's just
my favorite seasons were 4 through 6. Those were my favorite. But
I agree.
For me, season 7 and 8, I think it was a dip in quality, but I think it also was it couldn't live up to what had come before. It was kind of hard to stand up to that. And then New Blood, they took such a change in tone. Well, the tone was different because it just didn't have the feel of the TV show. Then it had a different location, different characters, so that played into it. Plus a controversial ending. Now, luckily, the ending didn't bother me quite as much because I already know we're getting more Dexter with the next sequel series in June that's supposed to come out. So that one didn't bother me as much. But I'm also I just started the prequel. And so far that's okay. That actually feels closer to the original show than what New Blood did.
I love the prequel. I hated New Blood. I liked it for the first several episodes, and then it started getting a little hokey. I couldn't stand the son at all. But the origins, original sin. So far, I've got a couple more episodes just to finish it up. I haven't watched yet. But I've loved everything about it. I think
I've seen the first 2 episodes and like them.
The new cast, some of them are so similar to the original actors, it's almost bizarre to look at. Like Batista in particular, the young guy playing young Batista's knocked it out. It's like, did you just live with this man for a few months because he got down his mannerisms? It was crazy. The same thing with the kid playing Dexter. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Christian Slater's always, he doesn't look anything like the dad we're used to, but it's fucking Christian Slater, so who cares?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, he
actor.
doesn't look like Harry, but I'm cool with it because it is Christian Slater.
If they just replaced him as he's just new Harry going forward, anytime Dexter's hallucinating or talking to the Harry version of his Dark Passenger, I can get into that. Sorry to hijack the show with Dexter, with the whole Dexter.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No,
but the point I was making is that yeah, I've been watching some old stuff that I'd never seen before. So because of that, I tend not to, cancel any of these because I'm using them all still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really hard. It is hard to cancel them. It's like an addiction because, what if I want to go back? I do the same thing. Like I discovered shows that have been off the air for years, longer sometimes. Like that one Jericho. I just started watching that maybe a couple years ago, and it's been gone forever. And I know it got canceled outright, so there's no conclusion. But everything got up to that was great, But I like just trying to find those little hidden gems from back in a simpler time in the early 2000s when none of this, it wasn't all just injected with complete and total bullshit. Constant bullshit.
Yeah, there's some good gems on there. Like I watched The Shield about a year and a half ago. That was the first time I had seen that, and I loved that.
That's a good one.
So yeah, there's some good hidden stuff on there and stuff that I just missed the first time that it came out that I've gone back and rewatched. But the problem is they put them all on different streaming services. So you got one on Amazon, you got one on Hulu, you got one on Paramount.
Remember earlier when you were talking about how much money it costs right now? Yeah. But back in the day, if no one remembers this, they weren't alive at the time because there weren't that many. You had Netflix for movies and you had Hulu for TV, and that was just kind of it. You really just had those two. And people kind of barely maybe had Hulu anyway. Hulu was kind of like if I just need to watch the newest episode of a show, I'll just watch it on Hulu the next day if I have it. Then the other ones started coming in. Like you started getting so many other ones, and it's like, Warner Brothers had theirs, Disney had theirs, Paramount had theirs, Discovery had one.
Remember that?
With Shark Week. I love Shark Week, but that's
I do too. Yeah.
Hey, you can't knock Shark Week, man.
Shark Week's awesome. Yeah.
Everyone used to roast me for liking Shark. Shark Week's pretty fucking cool. But outside of like that, you had AMC had a streaming service. BET had a streaming service. BET. What the fuck? When anyone sub to that shit? That trash. Planet of the Apes is calling. Nope. Planet of the Apes is calling. They want their money.
AMC, there was a time when that made perfect sense because they had a big catalog of old movies, and we watched them on
and they had great
shows. Yes, they did at one point. The early Walking Dead was incredible. Yeah. Mad Men is one of the rare shows that it didn't get hijacked. It stayed. It had a perfect first episode and one of the only shows that had a perfect last episode. That show was great start to finish. There's a little bit of weird bullshit and some unfinished storylines, but Mad Men held up all the way.
Or did we
that
have
was, I think, the first big AMC
what
show.
was the one for Paramount? Oh my goodness. They had another one under the company. Showtime had one. A bunch of these guys just having streaming services, and then all of it started getting, merged. Apple. Oh my god! Remember when Apple's was only like $4, and people were like, "It's gonna stay $4." No, it's not. That's just that it was never gonna stay $4. Like anyone thought it was, but holy crap! But the thing also when people said, "Oh my god, there's so many channels and cable, and there's so many streaming services." I will offer this as an argument. To be fair, you are not watching all of that stuff. Even if I had like 5 streaming services that I am willing to pay for, I'm not watching all that stuff. But that also begs the question too: why do you need 5 then? If you're not going to watch everything, or at least watch a good amount of stuff on there, then you don't need them. You would just justify yourself. I don't need one. The only one you really kind of need that has new stuff just dropping repeatedly is probably just Netflix, honestly. But then again, HBO Max catalog one. The Max one is pretty good. Max
awesome. One I liked because it was all the DC stuff. Emily Krieger just mentioned DC had a streaming service too. I had, and it was
DC
actually
Universe.
Really good at.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love DC Universe, and the only reason I got Max was because I didn't want to lose that. But now I've kind of gone through and I bought physical copies of all the DC movies and animations that I want to watch, so I don't need it anymore.
Remember when Stargirl?
A lot of the
dropped on it?
stuff on Max you can find on other platforms. So
Yeah,
like I found a lot of those same old movies are on Paramount. Actually, has
and
a
you guys have
great
Prime Video.
catalog.
Remember, we all have Amazon Prime for the
Mhm.
shipping. I have. I'll be honest here. If anyone doesn't have Prime for shipping, you are losing a lot of money. I checked how much I would spend on Amazon with and without it. I was like, I have to have Prime. If I'm just gonna, might as well have it at this point. You know, like, and we're all gonna have access to Amazon Prime because we have the Prime for the free shipping from Amazon. And even that's not really giving Amazon the amount of money it needs. You would think Amazon's would be the one that has most subscribers because of just Prime. But the problem is people are subbing to Prime for free shipping on their shit, not watching the actual shit that's on there, which is sad because, Invincible's on there. Invincible's pretty fucking good, honestly. I like that show. And you have Rings of Power, which is Bob's favorite show.
Oh, yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. I love it. In fact, I watched the first episode, couldn't watch the rest of it. And then I did get a colonoscopy once, so I feel like I've seen the rest of it, but yeah, I couldn't get into it. I watched one episode and I was done with it.
Dude, the same here happened with The Witcher. I watched The Witcher one episode and I was like, this is bad.
I liked the first season, but then when the second season hit, I was like, and I didn't watch that spinoff they did, and I never watched the third season.
See, I thought I liked the first season because I liked The Witcher so much. It's like, okay, it was one of the kind of like how a lot of people thought that they liked The Force Awakens, and they realized, no, that you didn't like that at all. You just wanted really, really bad to like it, and you had faith that the next thing that they do will be better. Witcher was the same way. It was that first season was their hook, and it wasn't even a good one. It dragged you could tell a lot of the scenes were just choppy and put together incohesively. It was a big mess. The only thing that was a success out of the whole thing with The Witcher was Henry Cavill's portrayal of Geralt, but that was it.
Yeah, they did him dirty in that series. I mean, he's the main or supposed to be the main character, and it really wasn't even about him.
Right. And I know MSK cares because that's his favorite actor of all time. He's told me in private that he thinks Henry Cavill is the most talented and stunningly beautiful man he's ever seen.
No, that would be Austin Butler, honestly. He looks like a twank. But no, as you guys remember, I handed this certain person a huge L in a Henry Cavill conversation once or twice. I'm no one's counting. I got the belt. I'm a wrestling champion. I got the gold belt. I'm the big Nuggins McFighter of the internet, actually.
All those hours of League of Legends has paid off.
No, it haven't. I was raging out at people the other day ago. We had a guy when me and Chaz were playing called Adrian the Virgin, and he would suck off his boyfriend when we were playing. And I'm sitting there going like,
wait, you called yourself Adrian back in the day?
First of all, I'm thinking to myself, can you just not suck dick when you're playing the game? You can choke on that guy's dick whenever you feel
like. You have that monologue constantly playing?
No.
Now, see, I want to remind everybody, this is the guy who consistently says like, oh, well, Harry Potter's for dorks and losers and D&D's for dorks and losers.
Big Nuggins or something.
You play a game where League of Legends and this is going on in your game.
No, I'm saying that was just a one-off incident. But I'm just bringing up the fact that, I will always agree somewhat with people when they bring up like nerds are weird. Like, I can't not disagree with that, though. Like, it just depends on, I guess, which type of nerd you've been around. I've been around all kinds of them. Like, if people would tell me that they don't like nerds because they're stuck up, pretentious, they're pompous, they're elitist, kind of. That's true, though. Some of them don't even shower. Some of them stink, But
there's occasionally the ones that the stereotypes actually stick to. I'm not going to say they're not. I'm going to say it's definitely blown way more out of like anybody that likes any of this shit is all that. Yeah, that's always just been a stereotype just because there are a good handful of them that actually do fit the stereotype.
Yeah. And then there's the other side of that coin where you have those same people that will shit on someone just because they like something. I never understand. You'll have arguments that'll be like, why can these guys just sit here and talk about movies this way? Well, you talk about your that same girl will talk about her nails with her friends for hours, and it's like, isn't it the same shit, just a different side of a coin? Like, what's the problem with people
Yeah,
having,
everybody's a nerd for something. I mean, even I would say even guys that are like massively into sports, it's almost when it gets to a form of nerddom. You're collecting Funko Pops and memorabilia and figurines.
People that collect shoes, like Laps collect shoes
and all that. It's like, yeah, that's some nerd shit. It's fine. No disrespect, but just because you think your nerd shit's a little higher up, it's still the same kind of concept. So
man, if you're someone who likes fishing and you're saying that playing video games is cringe, I need you to leave me alone. You're trash. Get away from me. Fishing is boring as fuck. Oh my god.
Have you ever gone fishing?
I have. Yeah, a few times actually. This is boring.
Okay, I love fishing. Who doesn't
you
love fishing,
you would love me throwing out my long rod into the water, hoping to catch some fish.
No, I think I would just throw you in the water and then enjoy the evening.
Huh.
You already know you can't swim, MSK.
I can't.
Seems a little racist. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Hey, Captain America can't swim either. Just saying.
Shit.
A Captain EBT who can't take care of his kids, who isn't there for his kids. But yes, we should go over some of the topics tonight. Let's have some fun. I know you guys like the talk where it's just the guy stuff, but we do have a job to get done here. Who's this person messaging me? Oh my god. This is Chaz. Okay, let me just tell him I'll watch it after the show. Okay. Now let's get down to business. Oh shit. I almost knocked over my can of Sprite. But and again, I've had sex with a ton of women, and you guys know that.
Sure.
And
women.
All right, Laps, we'll go over this and we'll start the videos. I have to watch things on my own to see if it's good or if it's bad or not. A lot of echo chamber thinking goes nowhere. That said, Arcane season 2 wasn't as good as season 1. Hey, MSK, turn phone off. I can't.
That's a good point.
Pointing out,
you were talking about a lot of uninformed reviews or opinions on things. Have you seen Captain America: Brave New World?
No, I only just went to the theater and sat down for 2 hours to see a more successful black man than myself, and then come home and look myself in the mirror.
I don't know how successful he was. He couldn't get a loan
or money at the box office. So shit, too soon. Oh fuck!
I've heard, in my little, I've got people in my little group that a few of them actually said, it wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't really need to even exist. And it was too long.
Right
and
now,
the pacing was all over the place. But a lot of people said Anthony Mackie did fine. Harrison Ford did fine. The story wasn't terrible. And it was one where you didn't leave hating it. It was just sort of like, okay.
I didn't hating it. I just was like, wow, okay, time to go home and beat off. Well, I'll try and have sex with a lot of more girls for the show, but okay, so like the thing with Arcane, a lot of people don't get this if you don't play League. People that played League never cared about its lore ever at all. I know a lot of it, given the characters speak it in the games, but the people that played League never cared about its lore, and the lore constantly changes when you have a champion rework or a champion comes out, just things like that, right? But the people that never played League and watched the show go, man, this lore is pretty fucking good. It's just a weird dynamic there, But it's time to have some fun talking about a more successful black man than myself. All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Captain America: Brave New World's box office once again. So, as you guys know from all of the videos we've uploaded on the channel talking about Captain America: Brave New World, basically pretty much from when we knew it was going to come out all the way up until when it did, and we saw the movie and we talked about it. I even dropped a review of it, not too long ago, even though it was not titled as a review, more of a commentary on the film. Captain America: Brave New World, hey, I'll give it credit. It did do well. Week 1, it did. It even went $10 million over projections. But what did I say? Didn't matter. It literally didn't fucking matter because since the movie's, I guess we say the reported budget on it, which is 180, not the live budget that they don't want us to believe, right? It doesn't matter because the movie needs to hit about what? $600 million to even be a profitable venture for the studio. The shill accounts put out there that the movie would need like 425 to 430 to break even. Keep in mind, as we've mentioned constantly, that doesn't mean anything. Breaking even's not good. Doesn't mean jack shit. That just means, well, you didn't fucking lose, but you didn't win either. So not a worthwhile venture for the studio, obviously. And then now we're at this point where we talk about the movie and it's like, well, I disagree with Iron before we started this video. I didn't leave the theater hating it, but I also didn't leave the theater loving it. This is the best way I could describe for people. If you didn't see it in theater and you do see it on streaming, you would have probably liked that you saw it on streaming because the movie trailers for this movie, Captain America: Brave New World, revealed everything. Literally, I'm just gonna tell you right now, the only thing that happened in this movie was you guys got to see Bucky Barnes randomly in the movie. That's it. That's literally it. That's the only thing that you saw in the movie.
You're saying literally, and that's just not true.
Bucky appeared in the movie in the third act. That's it. That's it. Nothing else happened.
Well, if you're literally dissecting the movie by like its Bucky appearance, yes, that happened. There's another key cameo at the very end.
She wasn't there. That was a deep fake AI or she wasn't there. No way. That looks fake as hell. But outside of that, there wasn't really anything else. I mean, I'm being honest here. The trailers pretty much sold everything about the movie.
Like, have you forgotten about the cherry blossoms?
Why do you do this to me? So it's just one of these movies where it fell into every single trap a typical Hollywood big blockbuster movie would fall into. You know, trailers reveal everything. Before the trailers even drop, we had a bunch of fucking, reshoots, and the movie was basically built from the ground up to be dismantled multiple times over and over and over again to the point where they kind of settled on stitching together the movie with 3 different sort of visions going on for it. Like, it tried to be Winter Soldier, then it tried to be an action adventure movie, then it wasn't even a Captain America movie, it was like a Hulk movie that they just couldn't do because they couldn't afford the Hulk. And it kind of just boiled down to basically Captain, EBT, Captain who, didn't stay there for his kids, Captain African America. And now we're at this point where the movie is now still currently flopping. And no, it did not even hit its break-even point. The break-even point from the shills was $425 million. We didn't even get that. This is where we're at now. And this is what the media has to do to try to spin this as some sort of good thing. So all today, I've been saying headlines like this, where Captain America Brave New World fucking, beats the first Avenger Captain America movie in the box office. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. That's not a win in any way super possible. First of all, because First Avenger is just a better movie, just overall top to bottom. Second of all, that movie came out in 2011. And also, if you kind of adjust for inflation, like you guys have always told me, well, that's kind of another argument in and of itself, right? So this is not a win. A movie coming out in 2025 where movie theater tickets cost way more money, doing better than a movie that came out in 2011. That's not a win. That's just like, it's like those useless on YouTube, you watch those useless trivia facts for any random show you like. It's like useless trivia facts for the show you like. That's this one. Oh, Brave New World beat First Avenger. Who gives a fuck? Who honestly cares? Who
did
really
they adjust
cares?
Did they adjust that for inflation?
Probably not, but even so, it doesn't matter.
I'd like to know the
That
actual
does
number
matter.
of ticket sales.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to know.
I guarantee it beat them in money, but not in asses and seats. Not even close.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Captain
what I'm curious. What was
Captain
the
America
actual
Brave
number
New
of tickets sold?
World. Captain America Brave New World box office officially passes Chris Evans' first MCU movie's entire gross in just 4 weeks. Sure, I guess. What are we fucking looking at here? Captain America Brave New World has just beaten Chris Evans' first movie as Captain America at the box office. Evans' Captain America movies became integral to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the actor turning into one of the two faces of the franchise alongside Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr. That meant Anthony Mackie had big shoes to fill when Sam Wilson became the new Captain America. And keep in mind, this didn't work in the comics when they tried this. He's never been a version of Captain America that people like. Because keep in mind, there is a way for them to do this. I mean, DC's did it with multiple versions of their big characters. There's obviously the big ones are like Wally West, right? Wally West is the version of Flash. That's not the first Flash at all.
That's the only one that worked ever.
Yeah.
That's the kind of enigma of the group. Green Lanterns don't count because there's a bunch of Green Lanterns. There always has been. Hal has never been the only Green Lantern, at least not for a very, very long time. Dick taking over. Yeah, people liked that. I loved that run. But we all knew he was going to come back. This never amounts to anything more than a novelty and a gimmick. Because when at the end of the day, these characters are not mantles, they are the characters that have been developed over a long period of time and have gained a lot of basic, a lot of a large audience. There we go. Of people that know this. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. This is Peter Parker's backstory. Sam Wilson is Falcon. Bucky's
what if we give him Ant-Man's helmet, Captain America's shield? We can give him the wings still.
Oh
yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing to bring up,
not having the super soldier serum.
Yeah,
well, you got to make that perfectly clear.
Another thing to bring up,
that's fine. You don't need it. You can fight the Hulk without it.
True. You can just talk to him. Hey, what was that meme that Kaida put out, or Kaida? He was a box office is getting a little low there, big guy. Holy shit!
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. Yeah. Also, you know what was crazy in this movie? I loved it when he just swapped out his better looking suit for the objectively worse looking suit, and they have no actual differences really. I just love that. Why did he change the better looking suit for the worse one? The other white one looks better by fault. And I love the white people. I love the white women. White, if it ain't white, it ain't right, in my opinion.
The Wakandan, Teflon or whatever. It helps, man.
Oh God! And then I loved taco, fucking quesadilla, tamale, Captain Falcon too. Like I love it. There's tamale Falcon, and then there's Captain EBT. A great match made in heaven, actually. So now we're at this point now with the MCU. Can't wait for Thunderbolts. Well, I mean, that literally says no one ever, honestly. While he did a great job in the role, Captain America: Brave New World reviews were mostly negative, but its box office now presents more encouraging results. It doesn't. Because I think the first Avenger movie made like 311 million, something like that, maybe 320, from what I remember. Also, did he do a really good job as Captain America in the movie? He didn't really convince you he was Captain America all that well. This was his coming out party to be Captain America. No homo. Didn't really convince me, but, I digress. According to Box Office Mojo, Captain America: Brave New World has passed Captain America, the First Avenger, at the worldwide box office. Anthony Mackie's first movie as Captain America now stands at $370.8 million, opposite the $370.6 million of Chris Evans' first MCU Captain America film. Oh, goodness gracious, a good $2 million. We're really getting the big numbers there, boys. Evans' debut movie in the MCU was released during Phase 1, when the franchise was still in its infancy. The actors following solo films as Captain America would see a huge bump in box office returns, with $714.4 million and $1.15 billion, respectively. That means a Brave New World sequel could do better. No. Why? Why would it do better?
Well, one thing I'm not taking into account here is that one of the reasons why Winter Soldier did better is because you had a Captain America movie that people liked, but then you also had the Avengers before that too. And then, so Cap was already going to build off of the success of those two films. And so that's why it did so well, plus word of mouth. That's the other reason Winter Soldier did so good.
Oh yeah, word of mouth on Winter Soldier was probably the best it's ever been.
Yeah,
honestly, for one of their movies, it was insane. Like You had, as you said right there, you
They
had
actually
First
made
Avenger. Mhm.
good movies back then. A lot of them were really good.
We don't talk about Iron Man 3 or Thor: The Dark
His
World.
favorite
Those
movie
were,
in the Marvel universe are Captain America movies. Everybody I talk to, it's either going to be Winter Soldier or Civil War.
Yeah, mine's Winter Soldier. I love Winter Soldier.
yeah, mine is Civil War and Winter Soldier. Those are the best movies for me. And the Russo brothers, man, back-to-back bangers they were doing. And then, they did the Avengers ones, which are a different discussion for another day.
I don't know.
But
I think
I
liked
Infinity
both
War
of
is
them.
pretty good.
I liked Endgame. I don't care what anybody says.
I did too.
I liked it just fine.
So would you love to make love to me after this?
No.
All right. So with its latest box office report, Mackey's
Why,
first
man?
movie as Captain America takes a lot of weight off its shoulders. What? Jesus Christ. No, this is still a flop. What are you talking about? Not even breaking even. Oh, God, goodness gracious, you guys. This is not successful. If anyone thinks this is successful, you're retarded and you're stupid. That's just my opinion, that you're stupid and a fucking moron. There you go. I feel great now. Brave New World is no longer the lowest grossing film in the Captain America franchise. Mackey's time as Captain America would always be compared to Evans. Well, that's just okay. And water is wet. After all, the actor is taking on a mantle that belonged to one of the MCU's most beloved stars. Come on, Captain America's not a mantle, guys.
No, Captain America's Steve Rogers. That's it.
Agreed.
That's Captain America is not a mantle. I don't know who keeps telling you guys that bullshit. It's not only for like Green Lantern it really works because there are
because that is it's a group. They're like
an
space
organization.
police.
Yeah.
Multiple people from multiple planets can be Green Lanterns.
Also, to keep it up, I went and seen this movie with a girl, and she was blowing me really hard in the theater as I was watching a more successful black man perform for her.
I thought you said you went to it with some girl and her boyfriend.
Okay. After all, the actor is taking on a mantle that belonged to one of the MCU's most beloved stars. As Sam Wilson had been a supporting player for all of his MCU tenure, save for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America: Brave New World, box office was always going to be modest. Keep in mind, no one ever said Falcon was their favorite Avenger, even when the MCU was back in its peak. No one ever said that. That was never a thing. He was just a cool guy you liked next to Captain America. It was always his thing. He's the cool token black guy friend he has. Like, what else was he? He was just a black guy. Except not.
He's a support. He was more of a supporting role. Okay, to take that part out of the equation, he was a supporting role in the same way Hawkeye even kind of is.
Like War Machine was to Tony, even though they downgraded.
Yeah,
War
Machine, Hawkeye, even Black Widow to a point. Black Widow more so is more okay. I'll give her a more of a center stage Avenger, but really, when people think the Avengers, it's Iron Man, Hulk, Cap, and Black Widow are like the four core members.
Yeah.
Just like with Justice League, it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of other people in the league, but the league is the Holy Trinity: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
That's true. Evans' sequels as Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Civil War would go on to beat the box office of his MCU debut by hundreds of millions. Yes, if you just look at the sentence and go, that's true, it is, but it leaves it a lot of context. There was a lot of setup there for Evans to get to that point where he became a box office hit with his Captain America movies. I said before, First Avenger, a liked movie. Going to the Avengers, his performance got better. They liked him as a character more. Winter Soldier, well, that's one of the best MCU movies. And the Civil War, also one of the best MCU movies itself. If Sam Wilson is given the same chances Steve Rogers had in the franchise, the same could hold true for the character. Guys, Sam has been around since Winter Soldier. He's been around at this point for what? Going on, isn't that like 11 years? He's also been in Avengers movies.
And Lapsed Comics making some really good points, but my point I'm trying to bring home is you can't replace characters that have been developed as this thing for this long and expect people to just eat it up without, just like they did when they had the original.
All right, where we're at. Okay. The same could hold true for the character. Mackey's first Captain America film is already performing better than Evans' first as the Marvel hero. So there seems to be plenty of room to grow with the right story and supporting cast in a sequel, just like what happened with Evans, Captain America.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to sell us on the character in this article instead of inform us about anything. It's really just a big selling point. Like, why don't you like him? Stop being mean. Come on.
Why don't I?
Chance. You might like it.
Like the black guy.
They're saying if you look at the pattern for the first Captain America series, well, then this is what could happen with this one. Yeah, it could, but you'd have to take into account that the diminishing returns for Marvel as a whole. I mean, there's other things that play into it. And like, I understand this took in more money than the first Captain America film, but we're also talking ticket prices are higher. And even if that wasn't the case, and let's just say it took in more money, I would hope it did when you're 20 plus films into a franchise.
Yeah. You would all, because these people look at the MCU like growth always has to be with each movie, like it always has to go up and up and up and up, right? So I would hope that a movie that came out 14 years later, it does better than the one that came out in 2011 in Phase 1. Phase 1 had some of the lowest grossing films, and you understood why it did because it's just starting out. Keep in mind, just for inflation, that was 2011's box office compared to 2025, which is it's just light years different, honestly. Plus there's way more context here. Also, I like that Bob guy. He seems pretty cool,
True. Way better than the host. But I mean, back in the day, we only had vibranium, but now
Vibranium?
I'm just saying, we got a new metal, all because of this movie. So that's kind of awesome.
All right. I'm glad Captain America Brave New World's latest box office update sees it surpass the first Avengers' entire gross in just 4 weeks. While I think the Chris Evans movie is the better of the two, Mackey's first film as Captain America was entertaining. This is another, just turn the argument on its head.
It's a weird statement. That's
a
weird thing to say.
Let's just turn it on its head really quickly. Let's just play it like this, like other people do. So this is the same argument people say, well, if a movie made $1 billion, that must mean it was good. But a movie that makes $100 million must be bad. But if you just judge it off numbers, no, that's not how that works. A movie could gross $100 million, be shit, and a movie could gross $20 million and be good. That's the argument we're dealing with here. Well, I mean, his did better, and I actually like the white guys one more. What the money doesn't matter.
That's what's so weird. I liked the original more. It was a better movie, but I'm so glad this one did better. Why? Why though? Why do you think that way? That's a weird way to think.
Oh, God, man. And Sam Wilson certainly deserves another chance in a less The Incredible Hulk focused story to really shine his cap. Also, another reason why the first Avengers is better. It didn't require the whole plot being revolved around some other character. Keep in mind, Sam Wilson as Captain America is so uninteresting as a concept of a character, just Captain America, not him as Falcon, where they had to give him another hero's actual plot for a movie instead of his own to come up with their own plot for him.
I disagree with that, man. So because they made Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they knew that not everybody, and including a good portion of the audience, hadn't seen that. Essentially, they decided to give him the exact same arc from that show, which is choosing not to take the super soldier formula. It's just weird. Like, he wasn't the one who had an arc in that movie. It was really much more like every other character in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels like a bait and switch.
No,
but he wasn't really the lead in it.
Yeah. No,
because they didn't have anything to work unless they made just a Falcon movie. They'd have
but that's
stuff
not
to
because
work on.
he's not. But that's not because he's not interesting. Like, you could definitely make a very compelling story. That's what MSK was saying. So I got to shit on him and White Knight MCU a little bit.
If we're being honest here,
the writing was poor on it.
Captain America, is he? I'm just saying
they don't have anything to work with. He's barely been Captain America. You can't think of any big story arcs that all the comic book fans know about from
the movie
All
that
New,
we got.
All Different with him. All they ever do in All New, Different was borrow from things from the past and give it to these new mantleized incarnations of the characters.
Man, and there's so many cool storylines out there, though. They could have gone like Cap Wolf or anything on this, but instead, it's just the exact same one from the TV show from a couple years ago that nobody watched. I don't know. Like, it's a failure in the writing. It's not a failure in the character. I would have actually wanted to see, what's he's going to do now? But this would have been so much better of a movie if it was Isaiah Bradley versus, Harrison Ford, the dude who locked him up, took away his life, essentially. I don't know. That would have been interesting, but it's kind of a bait and switch.
No, 'cause,
Instead, we get like a little glimpse into each of these characters, but the only one that really has an arc is essentially Harrison Ford's character, which
that's what I'm trying to ask
I
you.
don't know.
Because that's the thing in the movie. As what you just said, and we talked about this when we did a review. Harrison Ford is the only character that really actually went through a journey to really become where he's going to be in the movie. Like Sam Wilson, Captain America, it's not that interesting. I mean, this was the movie to prove he was an interesting character. He's kind of not. Just kind of just a, I would say a blackface Captain America. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, but I'm just pointing out they had to give him another character's focused movie plot because he didn't really have good ones to go off of. That's what they did, you know? But you never know. I have sex with a lot of girls, and you guys definitely believe me. While Captain America Brave New World is not going to be a massive hit, by the end of its box office run, oh, that's provable right now, the numbers show it will recoup its $180 million budget and turn a profit. That's just a fucking lie. That's just a lie. That's just a lie. This movie's not turning any profit. You know, it's gonna turn in red. And the investors are gonna go, damn, we should probably never invest in a black people ever again. All right, so let's go to Box Office Mojo. Domestically, $170 million. Domestically, $176 million. Internationally, $194 million. So internationally, it's kind of proven that they, I guess, believe in this a lot more than we do, because there's a little bit of a difference there. And it's so far its haul is $371 million worldwide. That's terrible. Anyone saying this is a good number, this is profit, you're an idiot. Your opinion means nothing, and your mom should have swallowed you. You're a fucking idiot. So now that that's out of the way, I'll tell you how I really feel. But no, go around, get our final thoughts and opinions on it. We'll start with Iron. He didn't watch the movie yet, so I'll go start with him. What do you think of the movie's performance at the box office, Ben?
Expected. Big opening, lots of die off, and this isn't just I don't want to pick on Anthony Mackie. I think he's actually a really good actor. One of my favorite shows was Twisted Metal when it came out. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And there's nothing to work with his version of Cap because it hasn't been around long enough. So it's just a lot of piggybacking. This is all to be expected because it's just the bigger problem with the MCU in general. And until they fix that, they're going to continue to see this. Oh, it was really good, but well, at least it did better than old movies, and eventually get back to attacking the fans for just not shutting up and accepting what's in front of them.
Oh, great. What about you?
Yeah, I just completely disagree with everything that MSK says, just out of principle. Disavow. But I don't know. I don't think this is an issue with Anthony Mackie or the character itself. Just sadly, it's the writing. And, we kind of knew this was coming when there's like 3 different sets of reshoots or whatever, 3 different dates of when it's going to be dropped. It feels like there's 3 or 4 different movies going on here, and they didn't really want to lean heavily into any of them. So there's kind of this political thriller that just kind of goes nowhere, and we're one step ahead of this bad guy who's supposed to be an evil genius. And then there is this bad guy, evil genius thing that just, I don't know, at any point, none of his plans work out, but supposedly he can see every possibility.
True.
True. I don't know. It just
obvious green.
There's so much that
when they meet, remember that part?
Well, and then we're just going to throw Giancarlo Esposito into this for no reason at some point because, that dude's awesome. He heightens anything that he's in except for this and Megalopolis. But I don't know. Like, it's very... Megaflopolis is definitely something that's his 2024 movies. But I don't know. It's weird. It's such a fragmented movie. It sucks that this is what they decided to essentially debut Falcon as, Cap, Sam Wilson as Cap in this. It's a bad outing. I think either of the real arcs for the character that happened in Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have been better in this, like where he really was deciding whether or not he should take the super serum. That's also in that show, and it was done better in the show. It's a really abridged version of it in this. And then there's the whole Isaiah Bradley story that's going on with this, and then the passing the mantle of the Falcon. All of that could have been really cool, and it kind of was, I guess, in the show. It was at least done better than in this movie. It just sucks that he got really shortchanged. And then out of nowhere, they just seem to take all these different parts from all these different Avengers and just lean in and like stack it onto this one character. Just, I don't know. For me, it seems like a fail in every direction. I see remnants of what could have been a really cool movie. The reports are it was really political, and it seems like there's elements that it was going to go that route, and then they got all, cold feet on actually going that route, and that's what one of the sets of reshoots was about. But sadly, this is Marvel's MO, and they've done it since Iron Man 2, since every one of the second ones. Essentially, they put into
As
production.
you brought up, remember earlier.
Yeah, it's just before they ever have a script going, and
it's just luck.
Sucks.
It's like they got where they got to because you had a certain style of director with each movie. But
your
that's every
plan
studio,
can't be
though.
I'm gonna get lucky here. It has to be like
You'd be surprised
hey,
how many studios
here's
have
how we
gotten
make a
lucky
good
with
movie.
people. It's obviously before you go, Warner Brothers lives off luck with all their fucking people. When they don't have any talented people, they're just fucking by the wayside. Like look at the MCU guys in Phase 1 before you go to Bob and me to finish off. Who are the directors? Jon Favreau, Iron Man 1 and 2. Joe
Kenneth
Johnston,
Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh, Josh Whedon, Louis Leterrier. Did Kevin Feige really walk in there and tell Josh Whedon what to do? It's like, or was he the coffee man, as we call Kathleen Kennedy? But, Bob, what about you, man?
I agree that the writing is a big part of the problem here. I'm going to echo what Gray and everyone in the chat is saying, that this is a big issue with Marvel. You look at this film, there are a lot of decent ideas that could have made for an interesting spy thriller. This idea of this terrorist group, having this canister of this material, and we find out what it is, but it could have left it a mystery that it was something very deadly and dangerous, and having Cap and Falcon have to stop them in order to do that. That would have been an interesting spy thriller, or trying to unravel an assassination plot before it actually was carried out. That could have been interesting as well. There are some interesting ideas here, but the problem is they abandoned all of those ideas during the film, and they decided to take it in the direction of making a Hulk movie without the Hulk, and it doesn't work. They just they're just throwing ideas out there, and they're hoping that one of them sticks, and that's just a reflection of poor writing here. And because of that, you get a film that a lot of people weren't fond of. The word of mouth has been pretty bad on this. And yes, did it beat the Captain America, the first Avengers box office numbers? Yes, it did. But in 2025, with an established MCU, you expect that to. Investors don't put the type of money that they do into this film hoping they're going to break even. They want to turn a big profit at this point. Back during when the MCU first started, they probably would have been happy breaking even, because they're like, okay, at least we didn't lose it on this brand new thing. This is an established product now. And because of that, they want to make $1 billion when they put these movies out. That's what they want. And they're not going to get it with something like this. And to me, you look at the box office numbers, this is a big disappointment. And this isn't what the investors signed up for.
And as you guys know, for me, as I talk about this, never replace a white guy with a black guy. Never have a black guy try to do what a white man can do. It's just, how I feel personally. But all jokes aside, because I think we had a comment here when we're doing this video live about if they had put Captain America in the movie, joke there. If they put Steve Rogers in the movie, would it have done better? I mean, if we just look off the past precedent movie before this, Deadpool and Wolverine, they put characters in a movie that people really liked, and it did well. So if I'm just going off of just recency bias off the movie just before this one, if they put in a character or an actor that people really like and care for and actually want to go to see the movies for, not like, hey, I couldn't go to the movie theater because my wife was fucking this other guy and I walked in on them and I saw his long cock and like I just couldn't go to the movie. No. You actually went and paid money.
Oh, you went with them.
Weekend. So this thing, if you put Chris Evans there, I would say it does a little bit better. And I would say it does a little bit better, only because the climate of the MCU is so bad right now. Most of the movies are not doing well. I think it performs a little bit better, at least. I will say it performs a lot better.
Maybe a little. Yeah. I don't think you can bank on that. When it goes back to what all of us have been saying, it's the bad writing and bad direction the MCU has been going in ever since Endgame. It's like that South Park episode where the kids stumble into the writing room for Family Guy, and it's a bunch of sea anemones pushing little balls with words up to the surface. Only in this case, it's like different characters, scenarios, and storylines. Like replace this with that, do this.
Yeah,
it's just a big jumbled mess.
Alton, to your point, let's just use, because I know people are always going to bring up this point, the writing. Well, if the writing was good, no, guys. The reason why that's an absolute, what's the word I can use? The reason why that doesn't matter as a point is because there have been movies out there with that just not objectively, literally awful films that have came out that have done fantastic at the box office. Writing has nothing to do with any of that, because that would just be
You're 100% wrong. Because the writing has been bad for over a long period of time.
There was bad writing that came out back then. They made a lot of money. Like Iron Man 2
and is more and more. But yeah, Iron Man 2 was bad. Not as bad as a lot of people say. But then other movies came out that were good. We've been getting bad, followed by bad, followed by bad, followed by bad. Wolverine and Deadpool was the only exception, and that was barely an MCU movie.
No, what I'm saying is, in spite of the movies back then being bad, they still made money. It had nothing to do with the writing. Like Darkhold made some decent money. That was a bad movie.
MSK, just to kind of piggyback off of what Iron said.
Just kind
of the point that he's making, that the way I've told people that it is,
if
you go to a restaurant and you order a good meal and you get another good meal, get another good meal, but then you get a bad one. You're gonna still go to that restaurant because of the 3 good meals previously.
One time.
Yeah, it was just the one time. But you start going to that same restaurant and you get bad meal after bad meal after bad meal. Then you get the one good one. Now you're not so sure about going, because it's like, why is this good? Now the last few have been bad. I don't know if I want to keep coming back here. You can only get a bad meal for so long before you stop going to that restaurant.
Well, then I'll ask you guys this then. Was Deadpool and Wolverine's writing the reason why it did well? That movie's writing is not good
Part
at all.
of it.
No way.
The writing was fine, but it was a Deadpool movie, so it didn't have to be perfect.
It was a fun guy,
but basically, the plot and the characters' interactions with each other, the plot was fine. It was a fucking Deadpool movie.
It's more like an experience, thing, right? It was a fun thing. That's why people went, because they like Deadpool and Wolverine together as characters, like the experience of seeing them interact with each other. It had nothing to do with the writing at all. You know?
No. So you're right. The writing, let's not give that for writing. So actually, Marvel has not had a well-written movie since post.
Because you can't even use that for No Way Home then, because No Way Home didn't survive. I mean, No Way Home is a fine movie, but people went to see that because, the hype that Toby and Andrew and Tom are going to be together.
No Way Home was a great movie. The writing was good in that. What are you talking about? That was a good movie.
Yeah, but the reason people went and watched it is, it's Spider-Man. People just kind of watch anything Spider-Man related. That's going to be.
That was also one of the first ones post Endgame. That was before we got Mom.
Yeah.
That was before we got the Eternals, Shang-Chi. That was before we got like all of the rest, the Marvels. Come on. Before we got Disney Plus show after Disney Plus show that you had to watch, you had to do homework to go to see these movies. All of that factors in to just a really bad direction with writing by committee instead of writing with a plan and a, like they did in the originals. They had a roadmap.
Yeah, no,
they don't
I'm not saying I
have one
disagree.
now.
What I'm saying is, like, the writing would be like a icing on the cake kind of thing. I don't think it's a main factor.
I don't know about that, man. I think the writing's the cake. I think the icing is the stupid.
The icing's the characters and everything else. The writing is the base.
Okay, now we're gonna use this analogy forever. Come on, my icing worked on a lot of women last night when I was banging them. They love my ice filling cream. But thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers and new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. That was the best ending ever. You can't. Almost couldn't keep it together. Bob's face almost just made me lose it. I was going to just die.
Oh, my God.
That was the best ending ever, huh?
All I was pointing out was that there's been a heaping load of shitty movies out there that made a lot of money in spite of their writing being bad. That's all I'm pointing out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that happens.
But what does that have to do with?
Yeah, look,
with what we're talking about.
Guys, now you guys are acting like my wife.
Look, Captain Marvel made a crap load of money, and that didn't have great writing. And
No.
that piggyback off of the
That's
success
great
of the
writing.
other
What are you talking
film.
about? I don't remember any of it. It was so good. I remember nothing about the movie at all. Oh shit. Oh fucking hell. Did you make a baby yet, Iron? No, I've not had sex yet.
There's some rogues gallery lore in there.
Oh, I
Had
know.
to do with this. Yeah, you've heard the story.
Mhm.
They're pressuring me now.
I always said just do like if you make a sex tape, just kind of send it to me so I can review it. You know, we can put you guys on Pornhub, make you like $40 every 2 weeks for some amateur stuff in Minecraft.
Yeah, I'll consider
Allegedly.
that. I do need to take off though. I just realized that I'm out of dog food and I got about 15 minutes
For
to
sure.
get there before they close.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah.
Not just what show you're on. Right.
No. In fact, I'll try to be back next week, man. If work permits me to. So
That's fine, man.
thanks for having me
Anything
on
you want to
again.
plug
and-
besides my
Talking to
wife?
you, Iron.
Oh yeah, I never
follow
talking
me
to
on
me.
X.
Oh god.
Go watch the Rogues Gallery. Subscribe to the channel. We got a cool show coming up this Friday with Camelot coming on. Going to talk about the whole NASCAR thing. That'll be a lot of fun. So I'll see everybody then. But
Based.
I got to bounce.
So, man,
see you
have a
guys.
nice
Good
day.
at me.
Hey, man.
Take care.
Later, dude.
Later.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this last one. Okay, Gray, I'm gonna need you.
The answer is still no.
Ah, fuck you.
Maybe. How do you pronounce the name of this character again?
How do you pronounce the black guy's name? Papa Ezidue?
MSK?
Is that how you pronounce that guy's name?
Sounds good enough.
It's like Blackie Ezidue. What the fuck his name is? Oh my god, I can make.
Pretty sure that's not it.
Oh goodness gracious! I need Gray too, because he is just a white guy actually. But yeah, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Iron's channel. He just recently hit 500 subscribers, which is awesome. He's monetized. I taught my sons on YouTube very well. I taught Bob well. I taught Gray well. It's like, oh my god, I'm just making you guys stars out there. You know?
Okay.
No? All right. Okay, this one we need to
Point out you asked me to come on the show. I just
That is true. That is true. I thought he was going to help me with a giant layup right there. Okay. Person can. One second. Okay, we're going to go back
It's
to
pronounced
some
Papa Asidu, apparently.
Asidu? Oh, shit.
Papa
Wait a minute.
Asidu.
Papa
Papa and
Asidu.
Sidu.
I'm not pronouncing that. I'm just going to call him Papa or a black guy. I'm going to call him black guy.
I know.
number
Well, I
one.
mean, isn't that what you call most guys? I thought
no,
generally you went with
very
daddy,
gay.
but you know.
No. A lot of girls called me daddy after I just pulled their hair and gave them back shots. Like, you know, thrusting is very, very fun when you put it inside of women's back tacos. God. So, speaking of people that'll be here next week,
Oh, you've got a new cast of people?
I wish. You guys are all I'm settling for now at this point. I've ran through the better people. Now I've got to
Well, it
settle for you
turns out-
guys at the point.
I've got a dentist appointment, or my dog's out of food. Something is going on next week.
Yes, MSK, you made me a huge star. See, even Laps agrees. I turned Laps into a household name. I'm like the MCU. I can take you underrated, not known people and give you guys fans. There you go. Because like that's what the MCU did, right? They gave the random characters you didn't care about, and they made them household names. That's what I
Except
did. with
Captain
you guys.
Marvel.
Fucking hell. Okay, one of you guys is gonna be Captain Marvel. I'm not doing that. That's not me. So let's have some fun with this one. Now, I want to make sure I preference this before I go. I don't, I maybe I would watch the older stuff for Harry Potter, but I'm just talking about the casting in and of itself, right? And the contradictions based off of what was described for what the show was going to be versus what we are getting right here. Okay, so all right. So actually, you know what? I'll just fuck it. I'll use the screenshot from this account, and then I'll go. Okay, I'll go basically 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, oh fuck, hold on, I choked on
Perfect.
But that beginning wasn't as
Wouldn't be
good
the
as the
first
last
time.
ending, right?
No. I'm all in. I was just sitting here choking on I choked on my own spit, which is disgusting. Let me drink some sugar water. God. So now I am more powerful than you could ever imagine, everyone. Oh, that's great. Awesome. So that means you can give me your phone number, right? That's just Riz. You guys gotta admit, that was pretty good there. No? All right.
Not great.
Maybe. Yeah. It could work.
You've had worse ones. So
Oh shit.
For sure. Like if we're just going on your scale, no, that's definitely like a top 10 for you.
That was top tier for you. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, you guys are assholes. You guys are patronizing me. It's not working. You guys are trying to butter me up. I've turned every single one of you guys into household names. I'm gonna start calling myself Kevin Feige at this point. You know, the person that turns small YouTubers into household names. There you go. No, the MSK failure scale. Oh God, that would be in the fucking thousands at that point. Oh my goodness.
Now you know I only do the show once a week, so
it worked, and now I'm melting. I'm so hot. That's what happens to me generally. I'm in fact so attractive that my body just spontaneously combusts based off of my looks. Honestly, I basically just break mirrors and everything. You know,
I do believe that you break mirrors and spontaneously bust.
That's just disgusting. Gray, you need to keep your dick in your pants, okay? My real estate agent was my penis. No, not a good joke. All right, it's cool. Hey
not
everyone,
even a joke, really.
We're going to be getting down to some business. I'm joking. My number, 1-800 too much. All right. I'm being led on here. It's not working.
You thought it was real for a second, didn't you?
I didn't.
You have that problem a lot, don't you, MSK? Getting led on.
No, I'm retired from women now at this point. I'm done. I'm retired. You know, my retirement.
I think you're still mispronouncing that.
Good Lord. All right. Let's go. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Harry Potter once again. So just like I said this exact same thing, very similar in my previous Harry Potter video. I'm not someone that's ever really watched any of the movies. You know, I never read any of the books, honestly. All I know is the author is J.K. Rowling. And I watched 15 minutes of the first movie way back in the day when someone just gave us the first movie to just watch on DVD. So, with that all being said, the author, J.K. Rowling, has had some, let's say, interesting backlash over her certain comments over dudes that think they're women and who are just basically dudes in wigs, honestly, pretending to be women. And I agree with her on that point. But this is the thing that I told you guys in that video, and I'll just kind of echo it here. Just because you agree with her on that does not mean that she isn't just one of them still. Keep in mind, we know how involved J.K. Rowling is with just Harry Potter in general. I mean, David Zaslav said she is just all in on Harry Potter. You know, this is her baby. She makes more money than we'll ever make in our entire lives every single week, every single month, actually. I'm not kidding. Her deal is very, very good, given how successful she was for Harry Potter, actually. The franchise did very well at the box office. The Fantastic Beasts movies didn't do so well. They kind of canceled those, but, you know, Hogwarts Legacy, a video game that came out back in 2023, 2024, ended up selling a lot of units, doing very, very well. But then we started hearing rumblings, the little rumors on the internet, that they were going to be doing a new adaptation for a Harry Potter TV series, not movies, because as people have kind of said in the many years, the Harry Potter movies, the movies kind of lost out on a lot of stuff from the books. And to be fair, I could believe that because that's most books to movie adaptations. You're going to just miss on some stuff. So early concept was that this show was going to be a faithful adaptation of the books. Okay. That's what they said. And you're like, okay, they're going to do a more faithful adaptation of the books. You have all these seasons coming potentially. You could have like hour-long episodes. Awesome, right? But then we were hearing rumors that they were actually going to cast a black guy named Papa something. Doesn't matter. Papa Captain EBT of Planet of the Apes. Doesn't matter. that he was going to be
Papa
playing.
Aceto.
He was going to be actually playing the character of Severus Snape. Now, the way I described this
Severus.
character in my last video, I'm going to point it over to you guys now. Okay, so as you guys know, I don't like race swapping or gender swapping. I don't like none of that shit. I think it's stupid and you shouldn't do it in general. And it's just any argument people have for it is just all bad. All of it is terrible. People say, well, I'd rather choose just good acting over an accurate description any day. Why can't you just have both? I know some of you are out there are so fucking stupid, you can't hold two thoughts in your head, but you're so dumb, you can't possibly think of anything else that could actually make sense other than, no, you could only get one opposite end of a character versus, yeah, hey, why can't I have the other one? What? And keep in mind, and someone, there were comments that said this, well, you just want all the cast to be white. Let's just use that argument. Let's just say I did. Why does that fucking matter? What if I did want all the cast to be white? Got a problem with that? What's the problem with that? Nothing, right? So let's go over this character, okay? Just to show you how stupid and how much of a lying pieces of fucking shit this company, Warner Brothers, still is to people. Okay, so when we had the previous video, it was rumored he was going to be playing the character, right? Now it's confirmed that Black Man has been cast as Severus Snape in the HBO Harry
Papa
Potter TV
Aceto.
series. Thank you for saying the name. So, as you see right here, the resemblance is canny, right? Like he clearly looks like this guy. You know, hey, come on, man. Let's be honest here.
So I know how familiar you are with Server. I know that Server is one of your favorite characters. So let me ask you, what is your description of Severus Snape?
Thank you. I actually brought it up. This is what the character is described as. Also, J.K. Rowling has sketches of what she believes he would look like in the books. Her own actual sketches of what he should look like.
Yes, except for, do you know where those... Okay, we'll get to where the sketches came from later.
Don't worry.
Let's go on with this.
You'll actually explain it to me. Let's go.
In the Harry Potter books, your Server, Mr. Severus Snape, is described as a thin man with greasy black hair, a large hooked nose, and sallow skin. He's often seen wearing a long black coat that makes him look like a bat.
So true?
Does any part of that say white man?
Isn't sallow skin supposed to be white?
Go ahead and look it up, sir. What do you think the definition of sallow is?
I'm just pointing out from the drawings that I saw, that guy looks white as hell. Just pointing out, not black. What black person has sallow skin? Black people are always described as darker skin tone in most cases, right?
So sallow, for those of us who are not MSK, is of a person's face or complexion of an unhealthy yellow or pale brown color.
That wouldn't be black.
Could describe a black man. Oh,
no way.
A pale brown color couldn't describe a black man?
No way. Black people are always described as either lighter tone or darker for the most part. Physical appearance.
So Professor Savage Dad mentions that his skin has the appearance of marble. Fair enough, but there is black marble.
Oh my God, I hate you, Gray.
So what you're saying is they could make him like a pale black man, is what you're saying?
That's just going to be disgusting to look at.
Okay.
So he would look like what? Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One? That'd be disgusting.
He's a little too dark, but yeah. I'm just saying, man. Like, so it is a staple with H.K. Rowling that she does like to change her characters and retroactively say, like, I never said this wasn't.
That's
so
true.
I remember she did it like 20 something years ago with Hermione, where yes, there are these different illustrations of all the characters on the cover and actually at the title, the chapter heads as well. And then she always said, yeah, but that wasn't my vision of it. That was an artist's rendition that the publishing company got. And then I was like, no, I swear there's a description of Hermione. And it's like, no, it always just said that her hair was unkempt and kind of a mess. But it never actually described like the skin color of a lot of her characters, which gives her the opportunity to essentially do this. Like, no, that was actually you making the assumption.
Hold on. So you're saying that Harry gave Hermione Hogwarts? Sorry.
She made her go to Hogwarts.
Okay.
Not the same Hogwarts you're familiar with, sir. I understand you haven't read the books. But so one thing is, like, I love me some Rickman. Alan Rickman is fucking awesome. He elevates anything that he's in. But even he doesn't fit the description of it. So he is supposed to be of a certain age. He should be the exact same age as both Lily and James Potter, who are Harry's parents.
Well, greasy black hair. I mean, this man's really.
So you haven't heard of a wig? Hey, MSK, will you take off your hat? Do you have greasy black hair right now?
No, actually, I have long.
Oh, okay, that would be impossible for a black man to have greasy black hair.
A black man wearing a wig. Okay, maybe J.K. Rowling was right. Just pointing it out there, she was right. That's all that movement is. But no, let's make a bad joke there. Physical appearance: thin man with sallow skin, large hooked nose, yellow uneven teeth, shoulder length greasy black hair, cold black eyes, curling lips, dark penetrating eyes that resemble tunnels. Clothing usually wears black, following robes, long black cloak that makes him look a bat. Other characteristics: as a youth, he is also noted having a twitchy sort of walk that is reminiscent of a spider. Snape's appearance in Harry Potter gives readers an immediate clue as to what kind of person he is.
So the thing is, Rickman is like 20 years, or it was like 20 years too old to play this character. When it shows the actors that that were playing both Lily and James, they should have been a little bit younger. So this guy seems like he is about the right age to be a teacher who is the next generation at this school. So parts of it are more accurate, but it's really weird. Like, because every one of these illustrations came out and because they were classic characters, and then we have all these movies, and again, you're classically associating this kind of
do you consider it a race
lack of description with these? I don't know, man. Because like originally I was on board with Hermione got race swapped, where what? But she was never black. And then I went back through and read every description of it. And it's like, oh wait, okay. So I made that assumption based off of the illustrations and every bit of information and any picture released with either the movie or the books did not depict a black female as Hermione. But apparently that's what J.K. Rowling is saying she always envisioned, and it's all of us who just made the assumption.
I'm asking, dude, don't a lot of these big creators like her always say that? They're like, well, years later, I always kind of envision it that way. They always
she's done that for kind of everything, and she is. Yeah. I wouldn't call her woke or whatever, but she's definitely on the liberal left, and she is more towards that. This character was always gay too. Emily brought it up in the chat as well, but Dumbledore. She just said that she had never explained Dumbledore's past, but in the subsequent movies, they did fully say yes, he is essentially a canonical gay character now. Jeez. But I don't know. She has gone back and kind of, whatever you want to call it, retroactively changed the continuity.
Retcon, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different. It wasn't like they always established this is what the character looks like. Just kidding. This is now what the character looks like. She was kind of vague in the descriptions. Okay. But it's not what most people are going to associate with it. But
Bob,
he is the right age.
Yeah,
so it's pluses and minuses.
For me, I think the big problems are going to come during certain scenes or story elements, for example, because when you start having flashbacks to scenes where Harry's father was mistreating Snape, I think you're going to get a lot of people coming out saying, well, then Harry's father was obviously racist.
Yeah.
Or I think also I do think it changes certain story elements in this case. I don't think that she ever envisioned this character to be a black man. I get what you're saying, Gray, about Hermione, and to me, I think some of the race swap, or maybe not even race swaps, because if the descriptions were vague, then because I don't remember Hermione's being vague, but it might have been. It's been a while since I've read the books, so I mean, if some of these might be because studios nowadays have to make some of these changes, because if they don't, they're not considered for any awards and stuff like that. So how much of this is J.K. Rowling saying, oh yeah, I really envision this, or her making a concession in order to appease studios and needs that they have for certain types
I'll even say this. Or what if she was the one that made the decision? Because we know she's heavily involved with the show.
Well, she might have. That's what I'm saying. She might have
been the one that actually suggested this, honestly.
Yeah, she might have, because like I said, the studios nowadays have to make a lot of these decisions. Maybe she said, you know what, if we're going to swap a character or whatnot, let's do this one. I mean, that might have been her, but we haven't even seen the rest of the cast yet. We've only heard a couple of people that we might get a lot more changes from what we think these characters should look like based on the different illustrations that we've seen and their movie counterparts.
Okay, and then we'll go up tier. This was one of Ryan's posts, and this was actually the description of what the series was going to be. HBO has described Harry Potter as a faithful adaptation that will feature a new cast to lead a new generation of fandom. Full of the fantastic detail and much loved characters Harry Potter fans have loved for over 20 years.
There was a 5 in there.
Good Lord. HBO told fans this would be a faithful adaptation of the books. Race swapping one of the most complex and important characters in Snape is not faithful to the books. It's bullshit. Oh, even outside of that, I hate race swaps. So stupid, so lazy. But you know what? I told people this with J.K. Rowling. I'll be honest with her, she probably suggested they do this. Why would she not? She's heavily involved with the show.
Well, that's why
she has one disagreement with these Looney Tunes because they're just dudes in wigs pretending to be women. That's it. She wouldn't, like, people saying, would she vote for Trump? Doesn't matter. First, she doesn't even live in America. What the hell's wrong with some of you? You guys are stupid out there. Good fucking God. But this doesn't surprise me at all. They did this stuff constantly, man. Like, just recently, there's no reason to make a video out of it for one of these shows. They casted that one black lady in Wicked, the one that looks like just a gremlin, to play Jesus in a play. I'm not kidding. That actually happened.
Yeah. My understanding, just some context to that, because I'm totally against it. But isn't that supposed to be an all-female cast anyway?
That's even more.
That's what I was hearing.
God,
that it was supposed to be an all-female cast.
Okay, great. I want to ask you this, because you said the sketchings were kind of off from her description. So just type it up. Severus Snape, book image description, right? Any of these kind of ring a bell in your head about which ones she said didn't really count or anything?
Well, like, that's the thing. I believe the one on the far right and kind of the middle of the bottom were at least close to the original book ones, which isn't, exactly giving Rickman vibes, but I'm trying to remember which one were the original ones.
It's closer than that.
I know my books were reprints.
Okay. I'm just saying, if she designed, and you're saying that she didn't design that, but that was just the way the publication company designed the character, right? From what I understand.
So that was her claims, and that was kind of her justification of why, like, Hermione is black. Like, no, I never said that she looked like this. That was just the illustrator from the book company who said it. So I don't know. I have no clue. Like, did she actually work with them, give them descriptions of each character? Did they just read the book and then, like, do it? I don't know who, like, signed off on it, but a lot of them were very simple illustrations that are much more like the black and white one. I don't think any of them were color except for the cover of the book, as far as I remember. They were just a lot more like kind of simple black and white drawings, and then there were kind of some simple ones by the chapter heads as well. Harry Potter looked very much like Harry Potter. You got the big glasses, the scar on the forehead, and the hair.
Yeah.
But she never said that she okayed these, and that was kind of her explanation for the other race swaps that have happened in the past. So I don't know. I swear that was like 20 years ago when she decided that no, actually Hermione has been black all along. I think that was even before the Dumbledore is gay thing, if I remember right.
Laps brought up. She also said Snape should be the ugliest man in the world. Good God.
Which this dude is not ugly. I can see why people call him Papa, because he's not the ugliest.
That's just very homo. Pause.
I thought it would, fit right in on your show. But
guys,
fair enough, man. It doesn't bug me that much or surprise me that much because
we've seen so many at this point.
What she's done. Well, specifically with this actual like property, it's kind of her thing. It's you just assumed. So I'm assuming it's kind of that same answer. And then I don't know how much she has to do with the casting on this. I know they said that they wanted to like heavily consult her on it and she has some say, but I'm not sure. Bob brings up that in order to be considered for a lot of these things, a lot of the studios a lot of the awards have mandates, and then the studio sets down a mandate of, hey, we need to be a contender, so you need to have at least this much representation. Who knows what the cause of it is, but I don't know. This dude can definitely act. I was looking through. I've only seen him on Black Mirror and crap. There was one other thing, and I'm blanking on it now. But he's got a ton of Shakespeare in his past. To me, that seems like the kind of character that I'd want in this. That's kind of the same thing with the Rickman. Like, he's got a lot of classical training behind him, and he brought that gravitas to this role. I hope this dude can do that because the character Snape is really cool, and the turn is a very classic one. So I really hope that they
as what Bob said
do
earlier.
it well.
As what Bob said earlier, when anytime that character, that version of him is going to interact with Harry, it's just to be perceived as racism. Or if like, guys, this is so stupid. That's why you just don't race swap. It's just dumb shit. But I'll ask you, Bob, your closing thoughts on all this.
That's a hilarious comment by Walter, though. They missed Sirius Black. Come on,
watch this be white because they just can't help themselves. They'll just do a reverse Uno. But Bob, what about you, man?
I personally, I'm not. It doesn't bother me a ton, just because I expected them to do some of this. I'm still going to end up watching this and give it a shot. In worst case scenario, I give it a bad review on my channel. So I mean, but I'm willing to give this a shot, but I am going to lower my expectations because I get what you're saying, Gray. That like with the descriptions, but fans, because of the illustrations and the movie counterparts, have come to expect these characters to look a certain way. And so when you do make changes like that, it is going to affect us because we have a preconceived idea of what we think the characters should look like. Now, me personally, it doesn't bother me quite as much, but I can understand some of the backlash here. And my concern is just when you do certain scenes, are you going to eliminate that stuff because you don't want certain characters to come off as racist or whatnot? Because in the books and even some scenes in the movie, Harry's father was pretty cruel to Snape, and to see some of that on screen, you're gonna automatically say, okay, well, Harry's father was a racist.
Yeah. As for me, just people have to understand this. Just because you agree with someone on one thing does not mean that they will, I don't know, agree with you politically on anything else. Some people might politically despise each other, but agree on just one thing, because that's what makes us unique as humans. People were so gung-ho that J.K. Rowling was on their side that they forgot, wait a minute, this person just kind of like them, so she just disagrees with them on this one thing. That's what's surprising too. This person agrees with all of you and bullshit like that. They just don't agree with you on this one thing. So yeah, when I read those descriptions of that kind of character, I'm like, that sounds like a white dude. If your skin is like, I don't know, sallow or sour milk, it's like a black person, sour milk skin. Like, I don't know about that. I'm just pointing out. But yeah, race swaps are stupid. Gender swaps are stupid. And Hollywood just keeps doing this. It's billed as a faithful adaptation of the books, but, they just can't help themselves because that's what these people are. They just do this because I don't really know why they do it anymore. No one likes it. This isn't liked by anybody, really, probably, I'd imagine, but you never know.
What the hell are you talking about? You just mentioned, like, at the start of this, that she's making more money in a day than we'll ever make in a lifetime, or something along those lines.
Obviously, Gray,
I'm just saying, someone likes it.
Would you love to interact with me at some point in the Hogwarts mansion, and I can hocus pocus erecticitis? So
no, I'm good.
Yeah, good lord, man, the resemblance is canny right there. Good job, Hollywood. Holy fucking shit. But thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace. All right. Who was this other person up here a while ago? I'm sorry, I didn't say hi. When we're doing videos, I don't like to really read comments sometimes because it could, go pretty hit or miss sometimes. But
plus, reading is hard.
Yes. Chaka, what's up, man? How are you doing?
That's a tough one to read.
Good lord. Pure bloods, mud bloods, and squibs.
So it already had the racist connotation, as Walter's kind of pointing out. Like, they're talking about the purity of blood and everything. Definitely changing the race of some of those characters. It gives it a different connotation. Like I got to be honest, when I read it as like a kid, I wasn't thinking necessarily racism. It was
because
magic blood and not magic blood, but
Yeah.
it kind of is the same apparently.
Well,
Yeah, it had nothing to do with your actual magical ability. It had to do with whether you had two magical parents, or you had just one magical parent, or you had none.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting choices. But I don't know. They did race swap a couple for the original movie. Like I think Crab and Goyle were supposed to be of the same race or whatever. And in the first movie, I think they both were white kids, and then magically in the second movie, one of them's a black dude. I didn't really have an issue with it. They're kind of like side character bully kids. I don't know. It feels like it was representation of that time too. But I don't remember like the internet getting in an uproar that they changed. I think it's Crab to a black dude. I guess I could Google it. It's either Crab or Goyle. One of them they race swapped.
I think part of it is because there's a difference when you're race swapping main characters as opposed to minor characters. Now there shouldn't be a difference if you're wanting to give a faithful adaptation, but a general audience does look at it differently.
Yeah, it's just
for sure. And you definitely had a good point. Not MSK, Bob. You had a good point about like these characters are recognized and they have become iconic. For sure. I think same thing with like a lot of the Lord of the Rings characters. You're going to look to those actors because that is kind of, not everyone, a good portion of the world's kind of introduction to this. And that's just, even if you read the books, you're going to be picturing those characters. So
it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who they cast for this movie. They're always going to compare them to the movie counterparts because they came first.
For sure.
All right. One last thing. Very, very quick. I know you guys have seen Daredevil Born Again. Have you? Pretty sure you guys did, right? Okay. So people were talking about
the first. I'm like one or two behind.
The Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again premiered to great success, amassing 7.5 million views in its first 5 days, making it the platform's biggest streaming debut of 2025. The show, which continues from the Netflix series, has received positive feedback for its initial episodes, with fans and critics alike expressing excitement, anticipation for the rest of the season. Discussions have compared its performance to the other Marvel shows like Agatha All Along, noting its strong start, but highlighting the importance of maintaining viewer interest. The narrative focuses on themes of rebirth and death with significant character development, blah, 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 blah. So, you think it's got staying power with this much views in its first 5 days?
I don't know.
It's going to depend on where they go from here.
Yeah, maybe I built it up. I only saw the first episode. I guess I was expecting more, but it could be a slow burn for sure. I guess I just I thought it would come out swinging a lot harder than it did. But I only watched one episode.
My thoughts, I saw both of them. My thoughts this is not the Netflix show. That being said, I thought it was far better than a lot of the Disney Plus shows, maybe better than all the Disney Plus shows. So for that being said, I actually enjoyed it. I'm not saying it was the best thing ever, but I enjoyed it enough to where I'm going to watch episode 3 and see where it keeps going. And I'm thinking this is going to be a slow burn. I just have this feeling it's going to go in that direction. I think a big part of the problem was because the title of this, they already used that storyline in season 3. So they're kind of, they kind of shot themselves in the foot on this one. But
you don't consider these ratings a disaster for Daredevil because it has less viewers than even Agatha, as I pointed out?
I think that goes to the diminishing returns of Marvel altogether. And
all of Disney.
At the end of the day, the numbers for what you're going to see for the finale are going to be lower than the premiere. That's just genuinely the way that it is. What you're looking for is to see the percentage of the drop. How much are you maintaining that viewership? That's going to be the catch. Because look at the Acolyte. The Acolyte actually had more views than both of these, but it was in the apps. It was in the toilet by the time that it finished. So that's what you're looking for. What will the staying power of this be? Will it be able to maintain that 7.5 million views? Like if this thing ends up, say, at 5.5 million, maybe 6 by the time it's done, I think that's a win for Marvel.
And then though, I don't know if it's gonna get that. I understand like Skeleton Crew isn't everybody's show. Like it is kind of nostalgic, or for kind of kids, or for people that liked those '80s movies. But all the goodwill is just gone. Like people are not willing to tune in, even if people are saying like, "No, this one's a little bit better." It's like I don't care. It sucks. So I don't know. It does feel like a bit of too little, too late. But
That's
we'll
what
see.
No,
I'm
we
not
talked
sure
about
if
this a lot. We've been with
I'm just not sure if it's going to be a
X-Men
big build from here. Is the problem?
all their shows are having this now. They were very big back when we were all at home still with WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier and Loki and all that stuff. But you've seen the viewership dip in all these shows over time. Didn't they just cancel What If? It ended at season 3. I was surprised it even got 3 seasons in general. Like all these shows are just getting lower and lower viewers if the one before it is worse than the one before it. And that's kind of a continuing thing in them anyway. So yeah, Daredevil, even if it's better, it's going to suffer given the sludge of shit that came before it, though, because got to kind of factor at this point, people are mostly just checked out. They've just given up. So you have to really, really convince them to come back and watch these shows within the first 5-7 days. Also, people are probably noticing that these shows aren't really like must-see TV, watching the episodes weekly. You can just watch the show's entire season when it's done,
Also, I do think I'm not saying this is what caused it, but just to throw it out there also, the first 2 episodes for Daredevil are significantly longer than the 2 episodes for Agatha. So that's going to play into it as well. The numbers here, like this is Agatha's numbers in its first 7 days. The Daredevil's is in its first 5 days, but it's also got longer episodes. I mean, you might have people turning around saying, okay, well, let me wait until I have a little bit of time to watch this. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's going to jump, 1.6, 1.7 million views in 2 days. But what I think is that that could play a little bit into it. But at the end of the day, I think their biggest problem is just that Marvel has stunk for so long. It goes back to my analogy of the restaurant. You got a bad meal for so long that people finally stopped going to that restaurant.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit. Gray, what do you got planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about? Black man.
Yeah. Stuff on my channel, launching a new show that will hopefully put MSKs to shame in the near future, but we'll talk more about that later. Instead, go on over to That Darn Kidda's channel every Thursday morning. For the next 2 weeks, we have stolen the keys to her channel. She's off in Japan enjoying herself, but we're still here. We're going to ruin her channel. Not MSK style, you're still not invited, sir. But hey, if you want to have a think with us, come on over Thursday morning. This time it's going to be about journalism. I know the White House kind of banned a particular journalist, so I think some people had some opinions on that, and then they opened up the journalism pool to a whole bunch of different kind of reporters, if you will, from a bunch of different outfits. So that's kind of interesting. And then we just have some random thoughts from around the world as far as journalism goes. So if any of that sounds fun, or you just want to hear some people from like 4 different countries getting together and disagreeing about everything, come on over on Thursday morning to YouTube at That Darn Kidda. That's about all I got going on. What about you, Bob? What you got going on, sir?
Well, let's see. I'm hoping to do a review of Novocaine this week. Looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah.
So, and you can check that out over on my channel once I do get it out over at Bob Loves Movies. Also, go check out my secondary channel for my podcast with my friends, Dad's Turn to Talk. Just look up Dad's Turn to Talk, all one word. Like I said earlier in the show, we interviewed the director, Dave Needham, he was the director of the new Plankton movie, the SpongeBob spinoff movie that came out on Netflix just a few days ago. And I thought it was a pretty fun interview. Real down to earth guy. And he's worked in animation on movies such as Boss Baby, the Lego Batman movies. So he's been around for a little bit and done some decent projects. So go check that out.
Awesome. So as you guys know, for me, tomorrow, MSK show with Labs Comic Fan about 4:30 p.m. PST. We're going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Batman number 4. And then you also have another episode of the Cloud9 podcast this week because First Stand is going on. So that means that there is, more League of Legends to talk about if there is an international event. So that means more Cloud9 podcast episodes. And after that, we have on Wednesday, comic book review for Bloodruth #1 with Professor Savage Dad. And the panel show with me, Gray, and Lunchbox Warren. Thursday, MSK show with Lunchbox Warren. We're going to be doing a comic book review on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto, issue #2. And then the Cloud9 podcast on its normal day, Thursday, Friday, Labs Comic Fan and Lunchbox Warren on Friday. Because Lunchbox Warren has Fridays off and Labs is coming back on, Fridays now. So we're going to bring our friendly neighborhood white guy back. We're going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Wonder Woman #3 is what I'm thinking about. So, and Saturday, panel show as usual, and then I might stream League afterwards. So, yeah, I got a busy week full of content, got a lot of videos I still have to clip out for you guys and upload. But to be fair, the news has been kind of slow. We haven't been getting that much news recently, so it's good. I can just drop the videos. And it's always good to have Gray here to, bring in some cool, interesting white knightish takes. Fucking bastard. So, I hate you people. So, also to say before we go, anytime I release one of the clipped videos, always check the description box below to find where you can find everyone, whether it be Bob, Gray, or anyone that helps collab on videos. The least I can do to, bring you guys up. You guys are underrated. So I'm the Kevin Feige now. I have to give you guys all types of clout, So, yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.